real fast, I want to make sure that I am streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Right now I only see me on YouTube. I don't see it on Twitch. What's going on? Okay. Channel. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so effectively I did a very dumb thing. I made sure to render proxy media, as you can see right here, based on literally just the fact that it says PXY. I completely forgot to generate optimized media, and thus. At any rate, what say you so far? You kind of got a little ahead of me, which is cool. I understand it, but break down for me what we got here.
All right, so do you know how they wire these things?
I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining anything.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do not. Okay, so yes, as of now, there is. I have no trouble. Like, literally, my CPU isn't getting super pissed off with me. So I believe I am in the clear, at least as much as I can be. So I will continue with what I was doing. Basically, as of right now, my main focus is making sure that I have optimal audio all the way through. Because like I said, he has the lav mic attached to him. That's the Zoom F3 audio recorder with my Sony lav mic on his shirt. And I was hopeful that my Zoom H1 Essentials, my Zoom H1 Essential Handy Recorder, I'm reading it down here right now actually, was actually picking me up without too much background noise or anything like that. I seem to have very much overestimated its ability because it's still, well, yeah, you can listen to it for yourself and decipher. Let me double check myself here real fast, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. So this audio is from the camera, which I will basically just keep muted. Once I have dragged more of this footage into here and made sure that the audio from both devices are synced up to the footage here. But yeah, side note, make sure that if, you know, like I said, this is my first time working with 4K footage, right? So my biggest fear, honestly, was, oh my God, this isn't going to work because it's too much for my PC to handle. It's not. I spent nearly $3,000 on this PC, right? It should not, 4K footage should not be that much to handle. Hell, I'd even go as far as to say C-Log or log footage should not be too much for this PC to handle. It would be very taxing on it, but it shouldn't be too much. So, needless to say, I jumped the gun on thinking that my PC couldn't handle it. Turns out it can. I just forgot to hit another button, was all. Not a big deal. Annoying, but not a big deal. Anyway, so yeah, no. What I'm doing here at this point is, first of all, WAV. So track 1, that is the differentiator, and then this one says Zoom. Technically, both my audio recorders are Zoom audio recorders. So how is it that I'm able to differentiate these two? Because honestly, I had the different devices name the files based on what it would name the files. I shifted around a little bit as far as what order would the day, month, and year come in, things like that. And then whether or not if it would just continuously, say, this is this time, this day, this month, this year, and file 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever like that, and it just keeps on going on and on and on with both of the devices. However, track 1 is the dead giveaway that it came from my F3 field recorder because, like I said earlier, for whatever goddamn reason, I will actually go ahead and switch over to here. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, because of the fact that this audio recorder has effectively 2 inputs on it, even if I go into the settings on here and turn off audio input 1, because I've only got the one lavalier mic, it will still want to record input from that empty source. And thus creates track 1 that you see right down here, right? It'll be empty, but it will still record. But with the Zoom H1 Essentials, it's only got the one input, and that's technically it's audio left and right. It differentiates between those, but it's still technically just one input. So it doesn't have track 1. It's literally just Zoom 0006. So right now I'm testing out to see which audio I like better at different points, because I've got the H1 Essentials mounted directly onto the Canon M50, and like I said, he's wearing the lavalier mics. So let's see which of these audios I like best at which times. In a perfect world, I would remember to do a lot of things. This is how you know I'm still kind of learning and everything like that, as far as, I'm learning new gear as I go, right? It's not going to be perfect. It is going to be usable, but not perfect, in the sense that, have a listen for yourself. YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining anything.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do not.
Okay, so
I know there is a difference. I just don't know what it is.
So serial for batteries is when you go positive and negative, positive and negative, positive and negative.
Okay. So, also, audio 2, does that only have... Let me double check here real fast. Clip attributes, audio. Yeah, so that's left and right. So this is probably the one from the Essentials that... Oh, no? Okay, it automatically recorded in dual audio. So...
Okay. Big long chain.
Gotcha.
Parallel is where...
Interesting. Audio 2, audio 2. Why is that clip left, right? Because I'm still essentially faking it. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll go ahead and go with that then. So, as you can hear, the audio track in between these two. Not specifically. I've seen. You can hear. Let me see here real podcast. I'll go ahead and I'll mute this audio track, which is from the Essentials, and only use the lav mic.
Do you know how they wire these things?
I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining anything.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do not.
Okay, so
I know there is a difference, I just don't know what it is.
So serial for batteries is when you go positive to negative, positive, negative, positive, negative in a big long chain.
Okay. Now, I'll go ahead and unmute this, put this one solo, and then unmute this one, and then redo that entirely. I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining anything.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do not.
Okay, so
I know there is a difference, I just don't know what it is.
So serial for batteries is when you go positive and negative, positive, negative, positive, negative.
Okay.
A big long chain.
Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and mute this track, and I'm just gonna solo the camera's built-in audio just for shits and giggles, so that we have something to compare to as far as what actually bad audio would sound like. I do not. Okay. Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining anything.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do not.
Okay, so
I know there is a difference. I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube. Okay. Yep, I got you. So videos about how they go together, but they weren't really. So effectively, the Essentials is giving me a lot more gain, and even though it's struggling, I can still pick up a lot of richer, thicker sounds. Unfortunately, with how echoey this shop was, with the fans going and everything like that, like I still picked up a lot of echo. And like I said, it was mounted onto my camera. I should have realistically had it mounted somewhere like on the table near us, and I just didn't think about that. I wanted to test it out and see how well it would do under challenging conditions. And while I am impressed with it, it's not the quality that I strive for, and I recognize where I screwed up. Like I said, I should have mounted it like even on like, you know, a smaller tripod of some sort. I should have mounted it somewhere on the table so that it would have picked us up better, or like, you know, with one of these stands here, and just mounted it on the tip of it, because this one right here, that one right there actually like extends up and out, right? So I should have done that. I didn't think about it. Live and learn. And that's part of being a professional, is knowing what you need to do differently next time, recognizing your mistakes so that way you can do better next time, everything like that. Learning from your mistakes, calling bullshit where you see it and everything like that. You know, knowing when to call yourself out and when to take the blame on something, whatever. So, like I was saying though, so I'm going to go ahead actually and unmute both. I'm going to solo this track, because I want to see again. I wonder if I could possibly just get away with using the lavalier mic, at least for the further away shots like this. I'm not sure yet.
All right, so do you know how they wire these things?
I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen. Actually, hold on. Can I back up a little? At any rate, what say you so far? Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and undo that. at any rate, what say you so far? You kind of got a little ahead of me, which is cool. I understand it, but break down for me what we got here.
All right. So, do you know how they wire these things?
I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining it.
So you know the difference between serial.
So I'll go ahead and take that out because I don't want it. And what I'm going to do is, because of the fact that audio track 3 right here is so much louder by my digital soundboard over here, that increases the volume of it, which, you know, is awesome. So that way I don't have to mess with this individual piece's volume. And hopefully that does the trick. You kind of got a little ahead of me, which is cool. I understand it, but break down for me what we got here.
All right. So, do you know how they wire these things?
I do not.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos about how they go together, but they weren't really explaining anything.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do. And okay, I'll actually go ahead and put this down here, and I think I'm gonna keep the Zoom Essentials track down here on the muted track. I don't want to do away with it quite yet, but I don't think I'm going to use it again until I have the camera in my hands. I'm going to have the camera in my hand a little bit here coming up shortly to get the close-up shots, as you can see right here. And I'll probably use it then depending on how much audio it was picking up from me just shifting my hands around that camera. But yeah, no, I'll keep it down here for right now so that way I can pull from it on up to here to increase it, or delete whatever section I want from here, and then put it into there so that way it's not just blasting distorted audio.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
I do not.
Okay, so
I know there is a difference, I just don't know what it is.
So serial for batteries, parallel, right?
I do not.
So you know the difference between serial and parallel, right?
Yeah, I'm genuinely an idiot whenever it comes to electronics, like electrical stuff, right? Wiring and things like that. You know, I'm just barely learning Linux. I'm obviously learning this. I could talk to you about smartphones all day. I can talk to you about just Apple as a business all day. Even a little bit of finance. But, you know, electrical currents and wiring and, you know, things like that, it goes completely over my head, which is why I had him helping me with this. So, at any rate.
I do not.
Okay, so
I know there is a difference, I just don't know what it is.
So
The difference, I just don't know what it is.
And I'll go ahead and take that audio clip and drag it down here, and that makes it immediately louder.
I do not.
okay, so
I know there is a difference, I just don't know what it is.
so serial for batteries is when you go positive to negative, positive, negative, positive, negative in a
Okay.
big long chain.
Got you.
Parallel is where the negatives of, like, say 3 or 4 cells are together, the positives are together,
Okay.
and then that comes out.
Okay, I got you.
In serial, your voltage adds up.
Okay.
So if each battery is 2 volts, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever,
Right.
however many you chain together. In parallel, your amperage adds up, but the voltage stays the same.
Okay, I got you, I'm following.
He corrected himself about something that he said. In this moment here, I was understanding what he was saying. I wasn't lying whenever I said that I understood what he was saying. I for whatever reason, my understanding of what he said, I understand it in the moment, and then the next moment I forget of it. I hate that my brain just does that from time to time. If there was a way that that didn't happen, I would of course fix it. I haven't found that way yet. Trust me, that day comes. I'm gonna do some serious dancing. Ask my girlfriend. I don't dance. I headbang. Metal. Dubstep.
Okay, so what they do on these type of cells is they combine them. They do series and parallel.
Okay.
So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells bound together.
Okay.
6 cells bound together, 6 cells bound together. So these are going to be in parallel.
Okay.
So that adds the capacity of all those cells together, and then all these series are going to be added together.
Okay. I'm gonna do a shot of that. Okay.
And all these series are going to be added together.
And of course, I got a close-up shot of him explaining this. Okay. I'm gonna do a shot of that up close with the camera real fast.
Yeah.
So that way I can cut this.
So what is the power on these? Forget.
Okay, go ahead and point that out again for us.
All right. So
And at this point, it's really just a matter of which shot do I want to keep, or which audio do I want to keep as he's giving the visual here.
So these are combined, series, and parallel. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells that are the same polarity on the cell is stuck together. 6, same polarity stuck together. 6, 6, 6, 6, and then 3, which is weird. So I'm not sure what's going on with the 3, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections bound together.
Okay. Go ahead and cut that. Nope. Come on. Come on. Okay. I'm going to do a shot of that.
So serial for batteries is when you go positive and negative, positive, negative, positive, negative in a big long chain.
Got you.
Parallel is where the negatives of, like, say 3 or 4 cells are together, the positives are together,
Okay.
and then that comes out.
So I can see more of it.
I got you.
In serial, your voltage adds up.
Okay.
So if each battery is 2 volts, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever,
Right.
however many you chain together. In parallel, your amperage adds up, but the voltage stays the same.
Okay. I got you. I'm following.
Okay, so what they do on these type of cells is they combine them. They do series and serial, your voltage adds up.
Okay.
So if each battery is 2 volts, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever, the same.
Okay.
Okay, so what they do on these type of cells is they combine them. They do series and parallel.
Okay.
So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. I'm going to probably stop it right about there. Cut and then delete. And hopefully I can paste this without... I don't like that. Hold on. I still don't like that. Okay.
It stays the same.
Okay. I got you. I'm following.
Okay, so what they do on these type of cells is they combine them. They do series and parallel.
Okay.
So these are combined, series, and parallel. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells that are the same polarity on the cell is stuck together. 6, same polarity stuck together. 6, 6, 6, 6, and then 3, which is weird. So I'm not sure what's going on with the 3, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections bound together.
Okay, that is a very clean cut. And I realized later on that I needed more light, and I did wind up lighting this area up, the whole area up more. Like I got a light over here and a light over here later on. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly like how much or yeah, I don't remember exactly at the top of my head how late or how much more we re-explained after I got more lighting, but I got more lighting and it looks better. Yeah, one of those things.
Okay. Okay. What else we got then?
Okay. So the voltage of one cell is 3.5 volts, right?
Okay.
So what's 3.5 times 6?
I'm no good with
I don't either. I can't do it in my head either.
Thank God we got calculators in our pockets every day,
True
right?
enough. Should be.
Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and delete that. I just realized I'm probably way off for this audio down here because shit. Okay, hold on. Give me just a moment. Being my own camera op for one camera kind of sucks sometimes. Being my own camera op for one camera kind of sucks sometimes. I can't really tell the difference. Hold on. Okay. Is there really no difference? Okay. Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm still on point, which is weird. Very weird. Okay, I won't complain about that. Hey, look at that. Okay, I'm gonna solo that one.
You might want a close up of this too.
Okay. What else we got then?
Okay. So the voltage of one cell.
Okay.
So what's 3.5 times 6?
I'm no good with
I don't either. I can't do it in my head either.
Thank God we got calculators in our pockets every day,
True
right?
enough. Should be.
Math teachers from my
21.
middle school and high school, take note. Calculators in their pockets every single day.
21 volts.
21 volts. Okay.
So each one of those bundles should be 21 volts.
Okay.
Which is weird. Which is weird.
Why is that weird?
Because I already measured this and it shouldn't be 21 volts. How the hell are they doing this? This is why I don't mess with batteries.
Now you tell me.
Now you tell me. But I can check.
Okay.
So, I'll check each side of these. 4 volts is backwards. So I got 4 volts on that section.
I just thought of something that I want to do to, as a comical way to censor out him saying the word hell, because let's just say there are certain social media platforms that even though I partake in, I don't particularly agree with some of their censorship. And I have what is going to wind up being, I believe, a truly hilarious way to censor certain words. You'll know what I'm talking about when I do it. That's all I'm going to say on that.
About 4 volts on that, and they reverse the polarity, which is annoying as hell. Why would they do that? It's like on this bundle, positive, negative, on this bundle, negative, positive, just to annoy you, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, right. No. I'm an idiot. It's almost like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
These are in parallel. Your amperage adds up, your voltage stays the same. So if each cell is 3.5 volts, the whole pack of that 6 is going to be 3.5 volts.
Okay.
But the amperage is going to be added together. So if these are 3.4 amp hours, so together that would be 21 amp hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that we're on the right track.
Now we're on the right track.
Oh, gosh.
So the way that they do batteries like this is they give them I don't know if it's a rating or an S rating. An S means cell, even though you'd think C should be cell. It's not.
Yeah. I thought C was cell.
Yeah. In batteries, C is how many amps can discharge over a period of time.
Okay.
And S is cell. So if you've got a 1S battery, it is just the voltage.
Okay.
So if you did this, it'd be 1S would be 4 volts.
Gotcha.
2S would be twice that.
Gotcha.
So on.
It made sense whenever he was explaining it to me. And to be honest, it's probably one of those things where it is probably one of those things where you know, I just need enough repetition of it. You know, I have been learning networking and scripting and things like that with Linux because now my laptop is Linux, right? I went ahead and installed Mint Linux on it, and I use it literally just for at-home daily use, right? I tried to put Linux on this PC, right? I tried to put Linux on this PC right here, but Davinci Resolve wouldn't load on it. I couldn't get it figured out. Somebody had to help me get it figured out, and even whenever they got it figured out for me, there were a whole mess of features I was just missing. Everything. All of the editing and computing for rendering footage and playing back footage and everything like that, all going through the CPU. I have a very nice CPU, fairly high-end CPU. It cannot handle text. It cannot handle like text animation and things like that, let alone the last video I did. So I had to wind up reverting back to Windows because H.264 and codecs and everything like that. Basically, there was no support for any of that on Linux with Davinci Resolve. But with things as simple as just basic web browsing for, you know, if I get home, I don't want to, you know, I want to put my phone, either one of my phones, on the charger, right? I want to put either one of my phones on the charger to give them a break because I've been out all day on my phone. I want to give my phones a break. So I put them on the charger, I grab my laptop, and I just do everything I would usually do on my phone as far as social media and media content in general on my laptop. And so I've been learning Linux, and I've been learning scripting doing that because I've been basically doing the same thing every single day, or most of the time anyway. You know, and whatever problems I face, I can usually figure it out. So I need that repetition, and I need it to matter for my daily life, or at least my normal typical life. It's been fairly recent that I've been doing this, but I know that I do need to get into this more. I do need to understand electrical currents more than what I do right now if I'm going to continue down this lifestyle of electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards, which I plan on doing. And hence the reason why I didn't hire him to do it for me. I am working with him to learn, to be hands-on. I haven't gotten hands-on quite yet. You'll see why here in just a bit, but there's a reason why, and it's not because of the fact that I couldn't pay him. I mean, no, I can't pay him right now. I'm not liquid enough to pay anybody for doing this. But the other part of it is I want to learn. I want to do it myself. I want to be hands-on, but I want to be hands-on with somebody that knows what I'm supposed to do and who has experience, so that way I don't end up causing a firework display in my living room. And that is part of the reason why I went to Tech Venture in the first place.
So on, so on.
Okay.
Now, I'm used to this from radio control. I do a lot of radio control cars and planes and stuff like that.
Right.
We mostly use 2, 3, 4S batteries.
Okay.
3S is about 12 volts.
Okay.
This is a 6S because it's got 6 bundles, 6 parallel bundles that then are wired together in series.
Okay.
Maybe
actually,
7 because there's a...
I'm gonna grab the camera real fast and get a shot of you.
use 2, 3, 4S batteries.
Okay.
3S is about 12 volts.
Okay.
This is a 6S because it's got 6 bundles, 6 parallel bundles that then are wired together in series.
Okay.
Maybe
actually,
7. Maybe
actually,
7 because there's a...
I'm gonna grab the camera real fast and get a shot of you doing the testing of the battery.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why would they do that? So somehow, even though there's physically 6 bundles of batteries, 7 counting this one that's only got 3 in it, which I don't quite understand.
I'm half tempted to just go ahead and cut this one. Like, I really want to hear how this microphone sounds now that I've got it closer up.
So somehow, even though there's physically 6 bundles of batteries,
Ooh, okay, hold on. I'm gonna make sure that's actually...
So somehow, even though there's physically 6 bundles of batteries, 7 counting this one that's only got 3 in it, which I don't quite understand, they've got 12 wires running into the battery control. So this run of wires right here is all of the bundles of cells coming in. So the bottom one is ground. The top, the red wire, is all of them added together. So if I probed on negative on there, positive on here, 1.5 volts. The second one should be double that, 5.5 volts.
Do the first one again.
And to be honest, like, the clarity that's coming through, the brightness that's coming through, this camera, the screen on this camera did not look this bright as it does right now. So I'm quite surprised. Is it going to look better whenever I get more light involved? Probably. But this is still fairly usable, especially for it not really being a professional video, for it being, you know, a video that is effectively going to be, you know, for my other business, for my e-commerce business. You know, so far I am pleasantly surprised with how well this camera is doing in not that great of lighting conditions. But like I said, watch me be so disappointed in how this footage looks whenever after I see how the light comes in and everything like that. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point. I'm just going to keep editing and we'll see what happens.
1.5 volts. So something is off in here.
Okay.
So number 2.
Yeah, that
5
got a little
volts.
dark right in there.
Like, why the hell is
Yeah.
there a shadow on my...
And I
The
got
third
really
one,
shaky.
9.5 volts.
I don't like how shaky I got then.
13.2.
I need to get me that frickin' gimbal. RS4 Mini. I'm coming for you.
If we go all the way up to the last one, just red and black, we got 49.8 volts, which is full capacity, because this is a 48 volt battery.
Okay. Awesome.
So it's actually full.
Okay. I mean, that's good then, right?
That's good. Now I don't know what's going on with this one.
You don't know what's going on with this one. Okay.
So this is your new battery. Still all sealed up, still looks perfectly fresh.
Yep.
So if we turn it on and stick our probes in, thankfully they label it negative, positive. We should be seeing 49 volts, but we're not. It's going from like 30 volts and then it's draining to 0. So I don't know what is going on with that. So off, we shouldn't be seeing anything.
Also, as far as the wiring on this one's concerned, can we just copy what's on this one because this one hasn't really been touched like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Okay, cool. You mentioned that earlier, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to see if I can even call. I know who did it.
Yeah.
Getting in touch with them is a pain in the ass right now for reasons I won't go into, but I know who did it, and if I need to, I can reach out to them. It's just a matter of when. I don't think we've got the kind of time.
So the problem is this place with all the plugs that this plugs into the bike is missing on this one.
Oh, it's completely missing.
Completely gone, so we can't just put it back
Okay.
together.
Got you.
But I don't know what is going on with this cell unless it's so empty. This is the brains of the whole operation. This board right here.
That board right there.
That is what prevents your battery from overcharging and blowing up like a Samsung phone.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you plug this thing into the wall, this is taking that wall power and sending a little bit to each one of these sections of battery cells.
Right. That is the BMS,
The
battery management
BMS,
system,
yeah.
correct?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's balancing all of those packs of cells together.
Okay.
So they're all the same voltage. Because on a battery like this, you never want the voltage to get too out of whack.
Right.
Balancing all of those packs of cells together.
Okay.
So they're all the same voltage. Because on a battery like this, you never want the voltage to get too out of whack.
Right.
If we plug this.
I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that audio track. And I'll keep this here, I think. Yeah. Because ultimately, I'm only ever just unmuting and remuting this track here for the sake of, because this is straight from the camera. I'm only ever using this as a point, a matchup point. And then this in case I need to increase the audio with either with either the lav mic or the audio recorder. But I'll leave this alone and I'll leave that alone and I'll just choose between these two basically audio track 2 or audio track 4. I think is what I'll do. Yeah.
Other one in. So what I'm thinking is maybe this one's just so empty.
Well, because mind you, I was having the same problem, at least on the surface, with both batteries.
Yeah. So if this one is just empty enough.
So I'll go ahead and unmute this one then.
Like this, you never want the voltage to get too out of whack.
Right.
Show. Together.
Okay.
So they're all the same voltage. Because on a battery like this, you never want the voltage to get too out of whack.
Right.
So if this one is just empty enough, maybe the battery
Oops. Oops. Yeah, well.
management board has essentially cut it off and said, you're drained too far, I'm not going to put out any power. Which is a possibility.
Okay. There. Okay. Now I can unmute and see if that. Well, hold on. I want to make sure to. Okay. So what are we thinking at this point?
I'm thinking before anything, I'm going to write down what all these wires go to.
Okay. Yeah.
Got multiple of the same color. Large black one are your main outputs. Large wire red.
And you had mentioned something about a wire having some gook in it or something?
This one, I don't know, that kind of worries me. Be anything.
I believe whenever we looked into it, that was a grounding essentially that was basically being couldn't because it was too oxygen deprived.
Yeah, that is your main negative. That is the that is the full battery volt.
It was trying to start a fire, but it couldn't because it was too oxygen deprived.
Yeah, that is your main negative. That is that is your main negative.
Okay, so I believe I'm gonna cut. No, do I want to cut all that?
Actually cut it off and said, you're drained too far, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Thinking before I could just.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and delete all of it, and then. Okay.
That is the full battery voltage negative coming out of that pack. So when it's all brown and scorched like that, it kind of makes me worry.
Okay.
Now we can pull that off and we can see what it looks like underneath there.
Okay.
Because we've got more heat shrink, we can always redo it. It's gonna be tricky. Because I've taken stuff apart where you just look for the bad spots, essentially.
Right.
Interesting. It's gunk. Look at that. I don't know if that's char. Oh yeah, she was getting hot. Look at that. See how the metal's discolored?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This has gotten way too dark now. Like, so much of the detail is just gone. Okay, so. I'll go ahead and stop it right there.
That is the full battery voltage negative coming out of that pack. So when it's all.
Oh, wait, yeah, no, I wanted to. Do I want to take that out? I think I want to take that out. I don't remember.
packs of cells together.
Okay.
So they're all the same voltage. Because on a battery like this, you never want the voltage to get too out of whack.
Right.
That is the full battery voltage negative coming out of that pack. So when it's all brown and scorched like that, it kind of makes me worry.
Okay.
Now we can pull that off and we can see what it looks like underneath there.
Okay.
Because we got more heat shrink, we can always redo it. It's gonna be tricky. We got some stand lights over in Clayworks.
We could borrow them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we could borrow those.
Okay.
This thing every day for about 11 months. What say you about what I got out of it versus what you're seeing here?
There you go.
Okay.
For the future.
I think I want to go ahead and
Yep.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious about going ahead and seeing my next clip. To hell with it, might as well. The next clip should at the very least have more light. Yes, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on in. Cut that off, cut that off. Bring this on into here, okay. And then I'll unmute that. Okay. And as far as this is concerned, wave 062251. 062251. I am in the way. There we go. Okay. Just so that everyone can see what I'm looking at here. 0651 track 1. See, track. Okay, so all that, all those waves and everything like that. Track 1. Okay. All the waves here, nothing. Same thing, but track 2 doesn't have anything on it. So, going down here to file 2, track 1. Go ahead and show me that wire again. See if it shows up. All right, give me a quick mic check.
Yeah, does it work?
Huh? Give me like a.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Let me a nice loud clap to help me match it up like that. That is exactly what I needed. And then I'll go ahead and take all this. Bring it all the way down to here. Oops. I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that was for the lav mic. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the essentials. File number 6, so I'm going to go after. Yeah, I'm going to go after file number 7. 5, 6, 7. Why is there... Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, whatever. Okay, yep, there we go. That's what I needed. Okay, yep, cool. And then...
Give me like a...
Not quite happy with that, actually. Neither one of those, realistically. Let's see here. Give me enough space to work with. There we go. There. Ow! Son of a bitch. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it this way then. Screw you, asshole. Let's see. Still just that little bit off. I don't know that I can really do anything about it. That's like literally a fraction of a second. Damn it. Nope. Okay, never mind. But at the very least I can get it. Now why can I get that one basically and then that one's just that little bit off? That's going to annoy me. Is it noticeable? Audibly.
Like it. Give me like it.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not audibly noticeable. It's visually noticeable. Look at that. Look at that horse shit. Wait a minute. Did I just fix it? I just fixed it. I just fixed it. I'm happy with that. Am I happy with that? Am I happy with that? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. Fixed it. Kill. I knew I could. I mean, it's me. What'd you expect? Son of a bitch. Okay, there we go. And come on. Work with me here. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. There we go. And then There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Cool. And finally, hey. Okay.
Is that work?
And then we can get back to tearing shit apart.
All right, so.
Yep. Okay, that's all I needed. Was just those few. I want that one. Now we got better lighting. Go ahead and show me that wire again. See if it pops. See if it shows up. Yeah. Yep. I remember doing that. Okay. There.
I'm curious what the C rating is on these. Yeah. If you can see it. It was on here. Weya Schwan wire. I'm sure we want to trust that.
Yep. All right. So.
Weya Schwan wire. I'm sure we want to trust that. 14 wire gauge.
Actually, wait a minute. No, that is.
What was on here?
Okay. In just a second here, I'm gonna cut this I'm gonna make this cut real fast. Did I already cut this? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and make this cut, and then I'm gonna see how much of a difference it is to.
It's definitely Chinese wire. 600 volts? Come on.
You're kidding me.
They claim that this thing can run 600 volts. Which, I mean...
I stopped it like way back here, I think.
Bad spots, essentially.
Right.
Interesting. It's gunk. Look at that. I don't know if that's char. Yeah, we do. We got some stand lights over in Clayworks.
Okay.
I don't know if that's char. Weya Schwan. Look at that. Weya Schwan wire. I'm sure we want to trust that. 14 wire gauge. Claims to be rated 600 volts. Which maybe. But I looked it up, and 14 wire gauge was it 14 amp? It wasn't a lot. Which maybe. Because I've taken stuff apart where you just look for the bad spots, essentially.
Right.
Interesting. It's gunk. Look at that. I don't know if that's char. Weya Schwan wire. I'm sure we want to trust that. 14 wire gauge. Claims to be rated 600 volts. Which maybe. But I looked it up, and 14 wire gauge. Which maybe.
Okay, and then I'm gonna cut that there and then switch over to the lav mic. Delete these.
But I looked it up, and 14 wire gauge was it 14 amp? It wasn't a lot. 15 amps. That's how much you're supposed to put through a 14 wire gauge. Which maybe. But I looked it up, and 14 wire gauge was it 14 amp? It wasn't a lot. 15 amps.
You can't even tell a damn difference. Like, you actually cannot tell a difference audibly between me, like,
Way Schwann wire. I'm sure we want to trust that. 14 wire gauge. Claims to be rated 600 volts. Which maybe. But I looked it up, and 14 wire gauge.
there's a ever so slight shifting in left and right, because it, I guess with the Essentials recorder, he was on my left hand side, which this microphone has the left and right channels going to essentially a single input. And then I shifted over to the lav mic, which is just a single mono input. But with that, even with that minor change, like, you can't tell, and I love that. I love that I'm able to shift between the two like that so seamlessly.
Was it 14 amp? It wasn't a lot. 15 amps. That's how much you're supposed to put through a 14 wire gauge.
Good to know.
God, that's just so tiny.
Okay, now, and before we go any further, the one thing I don't think we've covered yet, by total accident, I'm here with Jason from Venture Tech. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Tech Venture.
Tech Venture. Tech Venture, yes. Okay. How'd you get involved in Tech Venture? A little bit of background on you.
I came here in like 2021,
Okay.
2022, I think,
Okay.
just to make stuff.
Okay.
And I do machining, I do electronics.
Okay.
Tech Venture.
Tech Venture. Tech Venture, yes. And I don't think we've covered yet, by total accident, I'm here with Jason. Yet, by total accident. I'm here with Jason from Venture Tech. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Tech Venture.
Tech Venture. Tech Venture, yes. Okay. How'd you get in Tech Venture? Introduce yourself a little bit.
Tech.
Yourself a little. I'm here with Jason from Venture Tech. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
A 14 wire gauge.
I'm here with Jason from Venture Tech. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Tech Venture.
Tech Venture. Tech Venture, yes. I'm here with Jason from Venture Tech. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Tech Venture.
Tech Venture. Tech Venture, yes. Okay. How'd you get involved in Tech Venture?
How'd you get involved in tech venture? A little bit of background on you.
I came here in like 2021,
Okay.
2022, I think.
Okay. How'd you get involved in tech venture? A little bit of background on you.
I came here in like 2021,
Okay.
2022, I think,
Okay.
just to make stuff. And I do machining, I do electronics.
Okay.
And then they put me in charge of the electronics lab because nobody else wanted to deal with it.
Okay.
So I'm
enough.
not huge into electronics. Like I can follow a schematic, I can fix stuff, I can troubleshoot stuff. But in terms of like knowing why they put things where they put things, I don't know.
Yeah. So I definitely come from a software and PC background. You know,
Yeah.
I'm getting into networking and IT and stuff like that. But that's very fundamentally different from
Yeah.
electric bikes and what we're doing.
Like knowing why they put things where they put things, I don't know.
Yeah. So I definitely come from a software and PC background. You know,
Yeah.
I'm getting into networking and IT and stuff like that. But that's very fundamentally different from
Yeah.
electric bikes and what we're doing here,
Yeah.
right? Would you say?
But I mean, voltage and
I definitely come from a software and PC background. So I definitely come from a software and PC background. You know, I'm getting into networking and IT and stuff like that. But that's very fundamentally different from
Yeah.
electric bikes and what we're doing here,
Yeah.
right? Would you say?
But I mean, voltage, amperage, it's fairly basic stuff. So a 48 volt battery, how many amps do they claim this thing is?
Okay, I think I'm actually gonna put. Yeah, I'm gonna put basically all of his introduction up to approximately.
So I definitely come from a software and PC background. You know, I'm getting into networking and IT.
I came here in like 20.
How'd you get involved in tech venture? A little bit of background on you.
I came here in like 2021,
Okay.
2022, I think,
Okay.
just to make stuff. And I do machining, I do electronics.
Okay.
And then they put me in charge of the electronics lab because nobody else wanted to deal with it.
Okay.
So I'm
enough.
not huge into electronics. Like I can follow a schematic, I can fix stuff, I can troubleshoot stuff. But in terms of like knowing why they put things where they put things, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take all of this. I'm thinking.
Tech venture, yes. Okay.
Actually, no, it goes even further than that.
I'm here with Jay.
Okay. And then I'm gonna come all the way back to about here. Take all of this, shove it over this way, and hopefully that fits right here like a glove. Look at that. I don't think I could have done better if I wanted to. Look at this, look at that. It should. Beautiful. The lighting is going to bounce around a lot.
I'm here with Jason from Venture Tech. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Tech venture.
Tech venture. Tech venture, yes. Okay.
Things I don't know.
Yeah. At any rate, what say you so far? You kind of got a little.
I don't think I want that. I want this up here.
Yeah. At any rate, what say you so far? You kind of got a little ahead of me with.
No.
Yeah. At any rate, what say you so?
It's gonna jump cut. I mean, realistically, best views on the stream. Remove the what? Best viewers on streambo.com. The hell even is streambo.com? Do I even want to know what the hell streambo.com is? Let's see here. Streamboo.com. Why did it change it to .net? Remove the space. Yeah, you can go away. Can I not take that away? Yeah. Okay, whatever. I don't care. Yeah, no, there's gonna be a jump cut. I mean, I can't really help that, but yeah. Anyway, oh shit, it's already 10:30. I got a 9 o'clock meeting tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna not do too much more here, and I'm probably gonna go to bed. At the very least, I have definitely fixed my problem. And to that extent, I am very happy with that. It was just a matter of pressing a button, which I totally forgot to press. And yeah, so at any rate, I will continue this tomorrow evening, I believe. Yeah, I should be able to continue this tomorrow evening. So at any rate. All right. See you in the next one.